Good evening,
Yeah.
everyone. We will start the session now. Thank you for your time and effort to join for this information seminar and the session. And we will try our best to inform you, share our informations from Australia, and what is the benefits and what is the course details, everything we can explain to you. And before we move forward, just myself is a work is John. I'm working as a sales and marketing manager in Melbourne, and same like our team member Cinda John, she is also working as a sales and marketing manager from Perth campus. So we both are here to support you and share all this information today.
Uh,
And if you don't mind, before we move forward, can you mute yourself to avoid all these disturbances, please? Much appreciated. Thank you very much for your cooperation. So we will start now, and just I would like to introduce HCI just for 2 minutes. I will explain to you. Healthcare is International. How this an Australian-based um, a vocational and higher education training organization in Australia. We have campuses in Melbourne, Sydney, and Perth, and we are going to start our new campuses in two other states as well, South Australia and Brisbane as well. And also we have our operations in India. Our Indian operations center is based in Kerala, Cochin, Kerala, and we have at the same like we have operations in Middle East as a Dubai as our Middle East head office, and we are working in healthcare city Dubai. We have our own office there, and also we have Philippines campus. Philippines, we are working from our staff and all marketing and the training centers operating from Philippines as well. Soon we are going to start our center in Malaysia and Latin America. So I think we can expect any coming months or years or whatever is coming over. So, Healthcare is International. We are the specialized healthcare and nursing training organization. We've been training around more than 15,000, 16,000 nurses since we operation 2007. We started our operations 2007 in Australia, and we've been training for all bridging program courses and EPAQRN. I think Cinda, she will explain to you what is the EPAQRN and nursing programs, what we are offering. And also we are training all the nurses from India, especially India, Philippines, Middle East, Latin America, Sri Lanka, Nepal, main other countries as well. So we have this robust training system and healthcare information. All this information we are very much open to discuss this training and sorry Australian nursing standards and registration process, everything to our students as you come along with every week. We are conducting the training and the information seminar with the Carewin. We've been partnered with Carewin in India to deliver our graduate diploma in nursing program online as an online. Our supporting center is based in Carewin. Our Carewin team also is present today. And this is our nutshell of our Health Careers International. And now I would like to hand over to Cinda. She is very much capable to, explain to you all these courses, what is you are looking for, what is your aim, and we will make your dream comes true. So we will try our best to explain to you what is the scenario in Australia, what's the nursing registration, what is the courses, what we can offer to you. So we are very much interested to hear from you as well. If you have any questions or information you want, you can either put in your chat, and we can ask the question and as answers in the last session. We already scheduled that Q&A session. So feel free to ask anything, and there is no compulsion, there is no restriction, nothing is there. But this please stay on mute because while we are presenting, to avoid the disturbance from external. And please try yourself, so maximum you can get this information from this session. We will try our best to give you all this information, and we hope we will work together, and we will make, as I told you, we will make your dreams comes true. So I will hand over to Cinda. Cinda, all yours. Take care of.
Thank you, Mr. Varghese, for that wonderful introduction about health careers and also introducing me. I would like to welcome everyone to this info session once again, which is presented to you by Carewin in association with Institute of Health and Management. Thank you all for joining us this evening once again. So, in this info session, I would like to take you through the information about the pathway to nursing registration in Australia. So there are various pathways for a registered nurse from India or any part of the world, especially for an overseas qualified registered nurse to get registration in Australia and further to attain your PR. So the options will be different for a diploma qualified nurse as well as a bachelor's qualified nurse. So today's info session, we will definitely take you to through your pathway options as well as the nursing opportunities in Australia. So let's move ahead with our presentation. Thanks for your patience. Sorry, once again. Sorry, I think my PPT got stuck. 1 minute. Yeah. So already, Mr. Varghese has given you a bit of introduction about who we are. As he mentioned, Health Careers is the parent company, and Institute of Health and Management is the higher education provider, which is operating under Health Careers Institute. So Health Careers Institute is established in Institute of Health and Management is established in 2015, and IHM is regulated under Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency. As he mentioned, IHM has trained over 15,000 nurses from its inception in 2007. Especially in the last 1 year, IHM has trained over 1,500 nurses to finalize their nursing registration in Australia. So initially, okay, although we say that we started our operations in 2007, that operations was under IHNA, which is our sister concern, and now the nursing registration and bridging program is now being delivered under Institute of Health and Management, which was established in 2015. So that is a bit of an introduction about who we are. So it's not a recently established firm. We are in operation since 2007 under our parent company IHNA. So let's move on to the next slide. He has already mentioned about IHM's or Health Careers presence. We have 3 campuses in Australia, which is in Perth, Melbourne, and Sydney. I am from Perth campus, and Mr. Varghese is from Melbourne campus. And for IHM, Perth is the only regional campus in Australia. And studying in a regional area will give you additional benefit, as well as if you're applying for your PR, if you apply in a regional area, you will get additional points, as well as your opportunities for employer sponsorship and PR opportunities will be comparatively high. And also, as he mentioned, our offices are in India, UAE, Philippines, Nepal, Colombia, etc. Right. So let's get into the business now. So let's start with why is the demand for nurses so high in Australia? So probably like all the participants here, you might be, doing your research about nursing opportunities in other countries, especially in European countries, UK, Canada, US. So like all these other countries, Australia also has a growing population. Australia's aging population is actually doubling every year, and the population of Australia has more than doubled over the last 50 years and is expected to rise at a similar rate year on year. So, like the UK, the aging population is living longer than ever before, which in turn puts health service under increased pressure. So, because we have lot of aged care centers, which is fully occupied with aging population, there is a high demand for healthcare workers in this sector. So that is the main reason where nursing profession has high demand in Australia in order to meet the requirement of the healthcare services. So to ease this pressure, the government is expanding their health offering, and in particular are building a number of new hospitals. So these new hospitals required qualified skilled staff, hence the need for an urgent recruitment drive to ensure all services are staffed sufficiently. So as you are aware, Australia doesn't have sufficient manpower resources or healthcare professionals inside Australia. So that is the main reason, like any other European countries, Australia is also keenly looking for qualified registered nurses from overseas countries to meet the increased demand currently in Australia. So that's the main reason. So the reason behind the demand for nurses in Australia. So now let's look at the opportunities for internationally qualified nurses in Australia. So these information are basically taken out from the statistics which is published by Australian Bureau of Statistics. So the number of registered nurses has grown enormously over the last 5 years and is expected to grow more than over next five. As you can see, we have also given the figures in terms of the job opportunities available by 2033. There are likely to be around 150,000 job openings over the next 5 years. So this is this information was actually taken 4 5 months back. However, we have a recent update from the Australian government for nursing professionals. So on September 2020, which is just 1 month back, Australia announced a new priority migration skilled occupation list. So as you all are aware, the whole world is actually affected with this pandemic. So in spite of the striving through this pandemic situation, Australian government has announced its new priority migration occupation list, which is basically to meet the needs or the occupations which has arise in order to yeah, to meet the requirements which was arised due to this pandemic. So usually Australian government publishes its occupation list in July and in November. So these are the two times where, federal list and state list get published. However, due to this increased demand for certain occupations, on September itself, a new priority occupation list was announced. So, as you can see, there are 17 occupations which is published, out of which 8 occupations are mainly related to nursing and its specialization. As you can see, registered nurses for aged care, critical care and emergency, medical, mental health, perioperative, and also the registered nurses NEC, which is if you have specialization in any category, and if the specialization is not mentioned, you can apply under NEC. And you can see the number of job openings, or it's not the openings, it is the PR openings, the number of openings available under each specialization. So I think whoever is participating in this info session, you will get a clear indication on the number of openings or PR opportunities available for registered nurses in Australia. So once the borders are open, so if you meet the registration requirements for Australia, you can now apply for these occupations, and once the border is open, you can actually come in and start your career, and you can live and work in Australia. So this is the latest information which is published by the Australian immigration. So I hope for many of you, this will clear all your doubts in terms of, okay, if Australia can be considered for a permanent residency pathway or for your future career. So this is the evidence we have to provide for you. Right. So let's move on to the next slide. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask us at the end of this presentation, or else if you have some compelling queries, you can even text that in the chat area. So Mr. Varghese or myself, we can reply to you. Okay. So this slides this slide will clearly show you about the annual salary a nurse can earn. So this slide I have added recently, just to give you more understanding about the average salary you can expect once you get a job in Australia. So if you check, if you do your research, you will understand Australia is one of the countries which pays registered nurses a high salary. So if you can see, salary estimated from around 4,000 nurses, and this is an information which is updated on October 2020. So you can consider this as one of the latest information published in Australia. So this is the average salary earned by a registered nurse in Australia, which is 77,886. So 70,000 Australian dollars is 35 lakh Indian rupees. So 77 will be close to how much? Sorry, I'm very weak in math. 77 will be 30. Uh, how much it would be? 33, right? Yeah, close to around 33, 34. Yes, 33, 34 lakhs will be your annual salary you will be able to. So this is the average salary a nurse can earn in Australia. However, depending on your specialization, you have an opportunity to earn up to 100,000, depending on the number of years of experience, and also based on your specialization. So nurses who are attending this info session, you if you compare how much you would be earning now and the opportunity for you with your same qualification, with the same amount of time, if you're working in India, you know how much you're earning now. So nothing changes, your qualification remains same, your number of working hours remains same, and you will have more benefits, and this would be the minimum annual salary you would be earning in Australia as a nurse. And if you can see this Health Careers Australia, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of my introduction, IHM has tie-up with an Australian agency called Healthcare Australia, which is HCI. So this is the information which they have shared. So this is an agency which help registered nurses. They recruit registered nurses and they give agency shift for them, which means they can work as a registered nurse, can work as a casual employee in various places, as well as they also recruit registered nurses for regional places as well as to hospitals. So St. John of God is one of the hospital in Australia, in WA. So if you can see that RN2 means RN with 2 years of experience. If you are a RN with 2 years of experience, and if you work in the AM shift, you have an option to earn $43. So this is through HCA agency if you're working in St. John of God. So you will earn 43.45 per hour. And whereas if you're working a PM shift in the afternoon, your hourly salary will be $50. $50 will be 2,500 Indian rupees, will be your per hour salary. Whereas if you're working on a night shift, it your per hour salary again increase to $58, which will be like $60 is 3,000 per hour. And also if you're working on Saturday, it is 1.5 hour 1.5% loading, your per hour salary will be $65, whereas Sunday is double pay, and it will be 76.12. And especially if you're working on a PHS public holiday, your per hour salary will be 86. So 90,000 sorry 90 will be 4,500. So per hour you will earn up to $4,500. So this is the pay scale with St. John of God. Similarly, you can see Warner Health Scope and private metro and Warner public metro, and also even Ramsey is another private sector, hospital here. Sorry, private sector healthcare agency. So these are the wages a nurse can earn. So this is just an information I would want to share with you for all the nurses attending this info session to have an understanding of your opportunity. So as earlier when I was having a chat with Priya said, okay, my husband doesn't want to come here. So that's the main reason I said, Priya, if you can click on this picture and if you can show your husband. So this is the salary which on an average a nurse is can earn. Whereas if both the partners are nurses, you have double the opportunity. And also if you're applying for a permanent residency, you will have social security, you will have your children will have much more healthcare benefits, education benefits. So a lot of other advantages you will get if you're planning to permanently live in Australia. So you can compare the benefits you are currently getting as a registered nurse working in India or any part of the world, whereas the opportunities you will have or you can get if you're planning to come to Australia by getting a registration in Australia. So in order to reach to this benefits, yes, definitely you have to go through certain steps, and you have to meet the requirements of Australian government, and at the end you will have a bright future ahead. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So in this slide, I will explain to you the recent changes which happened in nursing registration in Australia. So in March 2020, the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia, which is NMBA, is the nursing council in Australia. Like you have Indian Nursing Council back over India. In Australia, the nursing council is called Nursing and Midwifery Board. So the nursing registration process has been transitioned to a new process for international qualified nurses and midwives, which is called outcome based assessment. So if you want to register in Australia, you have to go through OBA process. So OBA is mainly for IQNMs who has to meet APRA's registration standards. So Australian Health Practitioner Regulatory Agency, or APRA, which is the qualification assessment body for NMBA. So APRA will be assessing your qualification for NMBA. So you might be if you've been looking for registration in Australia, you might have heard about APRA already. So APRA will be assessing your qualification if you want to do your registration in Australia. And EPIQR and bridging program is now being replaced by outcome-based assessment. So as Mr. Verghese mentioned earlier, IHNA or health carriers, we have been delivering bridging programs since 2007, and once we started IHM, and last year we have been delivering EPIQRN, which is a 3-month bridging program from IHM. So once this new registration process has been implemented, now new candidates won't be able to get an option to do bridging program, whereas you have to go through outcome-based assessment. So whoever has obtained decision letter before March 2020, whoever has this valid decision letter, they can still do EPIQRN with IHM once the borders are open. So this is the brand new update from Australian Nursing Council about registrations, which is OBA or outcome-based assessment. Right. So this is a chart which clearly shows your pathways or steps you need to clear in order for you to get registration in Australia. So in the first step, it is mentioned you have to meet all the requirements laid by APRA complete GDN to meet the qualification requirement. So complete GDN is basically for diploma holders and also for bachelor's holders who has a gap, or even if you don't have a gap, or you have the recency of practice. If you are keenly looking to migrate to Australia, if you have a postgraduate diploma of nursing, which is a AQF level 8 course, it will help you, or it will give you additional advantage or priority in getting a job and also for your permanent residency. So if you have a GDN, or if you meet the requirements of APRA, so in the previous slide, I have mentioned that if you meet APRA's registration standards, so APRA has set 5 registration standards to attain registration in Australia. So the out of the 5, 3 are the core standards which all the IQNMs, each and every IQNM has to meet. So one is the qualification. So you need to have a minimum bachelor's level qualification, which is AQF level 7. So you need to have a AQF level 7 qualification or bachelor's. And the second one is you need to have a English a score of IELTS 7 or equivalent to that in PT, which is 65 each, or OET will be B each. So you have to meet the English requirements. And the third one is recency of practice. Recency of practice is you need to have minimum 3 months of experience in the last 5 years in order to qualify for RN registration. So if you meet these 3 criteria, then nurses, you're all good to go for your RN registration. It's just that you need to prepare your mind and dedicate yourself to get your registration. So once you meet all the requirements, you can start your registration process, and then APRA will give you an intimation to do outcome-based assessment, and then subsequently, once you qualify the OBA, you can apply to APRA for your registration. So I have actually given you a peripheral view of how your process is going to be. Now, in the next slide, I will clearly explain to you how this OBA works. So let's go into the details of outcome-based assessment now. Okay. So outcome-based assessment, it has several stages in it. So once you qualify the RN registration standards, you can start your OBA process with a self-check. So self-check is just a 5-minute, check which you can do in APRA's website. So if you need any assistance, I think even Carewin team or IHM team, we are happy to help you if you need any assistance with your registration process. And we can guide you. It's just that you can do by yourself. So it's not a very complicated thing. Self-check is a very easy, first step you can undertake in order to find out your stream. So once you clear your self-check, you will be asked to create an account in APRA's website. So once you create the website, depending on your self-check information, you will be assigned to a stream. So people or nurses who are assigned to stream B. So there are different streams: stream A, stream B, stream C. Some nurses, they may not get even they may not get even any streams. So it's a different thing, but I can explain that to you. So whichever nurses or nurses from India who used to get decision letter, you will when you do your self check, you will be assigned to stream B. So once you are into stream B, then you can understand your process will be OBA. Stream A is for nurses who have done their studies and worked and also who have worked as RN in countries like US, UK. So definitely, nurses from India, you will be assigned to stream B. So once you log into your APRA's website, you will be asked to start the second step by paying a non-refundable assessment fee of $640. So $600 is around 30,000. So inside 30, so for $40 will be around 2,000. So it around 32,000 you have to spend to start your second step. So you pay 32,000 Indian rupees, and then you have to do your orientation. So orientation contains nursing care resources. So you will get few resources to read and understand. And at the end of orientation, you will have to do an online quiz, which is very simple. And once you clear your orientation, the next step will be portfolio assessment. So once you pass your orientation, one of the regulatory officers from APRA, they will get in touch with you and they will request some of your documents. So the documents which you need to submit at this stage of portfolio assessment is only your bachelor's, or your qualification, whether if you have a GDN or if you have a bachelor's, you have to submit that qualification transcript, your mark list, and a photo ID. So these will be the documents you have to submit, part of the portfolio assessment. So once your portfolio assessment is completed, APRA will intimate you for NCLEX RN. So OBA has two stages. You have to pass the NCLEX MCQ. Then once you pass the MCQ, you have to do the OSCE. OSCE is objective structured clinical examination. So I think you might have heard about NCLEX RN exams, which is undertaken in US, Canada, UK, even Singapore. They have MCQ exams. So Australia also has adopted the same MCQ examination pattern with the OBA. So you have to first take MCQ, and then once you pass, you can take OSCE at Adelaide Health Centre. So MCQs, if you want to start your registration process, until your MCQ, you can complete that wherever you're located. If you're studying or if you're working, you can undertake your steps until NCLEX from the place you're working now. MCQs are mainly, you can take your MCQs from approved NCLEX are in PTE centers. So NCSBN is the regulatory body for NCLEX. So once you get intimation for NCLEX, APRA will also guide you through to the PTE website where you can book the test. So in order to book your MCQ, it will cost you around 500 Australian dollars, which is 25,000 Indian rupees. And OSCE is around 4,000 Australian dollars, which is 2 lakhs Indian rupees. So the main comparison with OBA and EPIQR, and actually Nursing Council has reduced the cost for registration. Whereas in IHM EPIQR and course fee is 17,000, which comes around 8.5 lakhs Indian rupees. Whereas with the new process, the cost has considerably come down. As you can see, 2 lakhs is the OSCE, NCLEX is just 25,000, which is 2 lakh 25,000, and another 32,000 is for the orientation. So it will be inside 3 lakhs. So in terms of cost wise, OBA is actually helping international nurses to get the registration with a very affordable price. So once you clear your OSCE, okay, so in order to do your OSCE, as I mentioned, you need to come down to Adelaide, and you can do your OSCE at Adelaide Health Centre. And once you pass your NCLEX and OSCE with all your documents, then at the end you have to apply for registration. So only at step 4 you need to submit your English requirement as well as your experience certificate. So that is the most important benefit with the new outcome based assessment. So earlier, before March 2020, an international qualified nurse will be able to start the registration process only if you meet all the requirements. You need to first meet your PTE, or you need to first get your experience and then your qualification, then only you can start. But the advantage of the current process is, if you are a bachelor's qualified nurse, or if you have a AQF 7 above level 7 or above level qualification, you can actually start. So once you complete your GDN, you can actually start your registration process. And while you do the self-check orientation, and while you prepare your NCLEX, you have time to qualify your English requirements as well as your experience. Because let's say if you're a final year bachelor student, Once you pass your course, you can start. If your destination, if you're keen to become a registered nurse in Australia without even experience, you can start the registration process, and meanwhile you do the process there, you can get your 3 months of experience. Or else if you do a GDN qualification, that is an alternate option for your experience. So now at step 5, so once you apply for your registration, once you get your registration, then you have to complete orientation part 2 in the next 6 months. If you don't complete this orientation part 2, your registration will be cancelled. So this is a bit of this is the clear step process for the new outcome based assessment. I hope I have given a very detailed explanation of OBA. So if you have any doubts, I can clarify. We can clarify at the end of the session. And now I would let me move on to the next slide. So Graduate Diploma of Nursing. So Graduate Diploma of Nursing is a AQF, which is Australian Qualification Framework Level 8 course, which is delivered through Carewin centers. So IHM will be delivering the course, but Carewin centers will be your education hub to do this graduate diploma. And basically, this is a 1-year course. And as you can see, graduate certificate of nursing is nested into this course. So in order to help you understand better, basically GDN has 2 semesters. So if you complete 1 semester, you will get graduate certificate of nursing, which is also an AQF level 8 course. And with this GCN, you will be able to start this registration process as well. And as you can see, that GDN is TEXA accredited course. And also, if you want to check the credibility or the approval of this course, you can check in APRA's website or TEXA's website. You will see Institute of Health and Management's graduate diploma and graduate certificate in their websites. And for this online program, our course fee is only 12,000 Australian dollars. And for Carewin students, we have actually arranged an exclusive payment plan that will help the students to pay the course fee in installments. So for more information, you can check with our Carewin team members. So this is a brief overview about Graduate Diploma of Nursing. And then this slide explains the entry criteria for GDN. So you need to be an international graduate nurse who has completed minimum 3 years of nursing, or you need to have a Bachelor of Nursing or Diploma of Nursing. Sorry, I'll just move this. Bachelor of Nursing or Diploma of Nursing, and be a registered nurse with the nursing board from their country of origin or practice. So basically, you need to be a registered nurse in your country to be able to get entry to GDN. And also, you need to have a minimum 1-year experience, which is the second point. And also, you need to attend an interview with IHM academic staff, part of the enrollment process. And also, for this course entry, you need to have minimum 6 and overall 6.5. So the same, this is IELTS requirement. So you can meet, you can also, give us PT results or OET. So if you have done your PT, then the requirement is individual 50 and overall 58. And OET has various combinations. So if you have done OET, feel free to send your results to Carewin team, and we can assess your qualification. And on top of that, so this is mainly one of the alternate or one of the options for the English criteria. So let's say if you are a nurse and you haven't done you don't have an English score, still you have an option to start your course by passing a short academic essay. So I know that, when I speak to nurses, many of them, they say, okay, I'm now only preparing for my PT. I've just started. So once I finish my PT preparation, I will be starting the registration process. So if you want to do your graduate diploma, even if you haven't started your English, you have an option to join the course, study the course by passing a short academic essay. Or else, if you want to start your registration process also, you don't need a IELTS or English score. So that is the advantage. And let's say if you don't okay, so if you have 5.5, or if you have zero point 0.5 less than the required score, you have an option to do EAP, which is an English course, and you need to get 70% in order to get into GDN. So these are the entry criteria for graduate diploma of nursing. Hope this is clear to everyone. And okay, so this slide will give you an understanding on the benefits or why someone should consider graduate diploma of nursing. So as I mentioned, if you are a diploma qualified nurse, the registration requirement is for you to have a AQF level 7 or a bachelor's. So, which means a GNM nurse from India is not actually meeting the requirement of APRA for registration. So, you have to first upskill your qualification. So, the best flexible or affordable course you can study in Australia to upskill your qualification will be graduate diploma. I can confidently say that to you. If you want to have a research also, you can check, but you will see this would be the best flexible program you can study from whichever part you are located. So GDN will help you to upskill the qualification to level 8, thereby meeting the requirement for registration. So the second point, mentions that it meets the qualification requirement for APRA for registration, especially for GNM or diploma qualified nurse. And the third one is attain recency of practice. So when I discussed the registration standards of APRA, so one of the registration standards is you need to have recency of practice, which is a recent experience. So we get nurses who has a gap of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in their experience. So for those people, we offer them graduate diploma, because studying a NMBA approved program is an alternate for recency of practice. So there are we sometimes we get inquiries from nurses who are not practicing or working in the field, but they want to start their registration because they are not meeting the experience. So basically, if you're in India and if you were a registered nurse from India, you can easily start working somewhere and get your 3 months. Whereas we get students from other parts of other countries, where they used to be a registered nurse in India, but they have a gap. So they, due to this COVID situation, they can't travel to India and get the experience, whereas they do this GDN program with us. So far IHM has successfully helped over 100 nurses who have gap in their experience, and they all got their decision letter to do the bridging program, because they have applied before March 2020. And as I mentioned, there is a lot of flexibility in terms of learning, so that you can balance your work and study, and you can gain a significant amount of knowledge and skills that will help you to grow and excel in a fast developing healthcare industry. So additional advantage I would like to mention is, if you are looking for your registration in Australia, you have to do your OBA. So as I mentioned, in OSCE, you have to actually need to demonstrate your knowledge in Australian healthcare system, and also the legislative knowledge, and how the standards work, how the Australian nursing care works. So you need to demonstrate your knowledge in these areas. So if you have studied graduate diploma of nursing, there are two units in the first semester, which is nursing knowledge 1 and 2, which actually teaches about Australian nursing care and healthcare system. So these units will definitely help you to pass or aid your learning to pass your OSCE. So this is another advantage I can highlight. If you study GDN, it will really help your registration as well, to get more information about Australian healthcare system. And the second slide also explains the benefits of studying a graduate diploma. As I mentioned earlier, this is the best pathway study for an international diploma nurses to get registration and work in Australia. And on top of this GDN is not only a pathway to get your registration in Australia. So this qualification, this AQF level 8 study has a global recognition. It helps you to get your registration in New Zealand, and also if you have a GDN qualification, you can get a positive access in UK, Canada, Singapore, Ireland, etc. So GDN qualification, Australia and New Zealand has same level of qualification framework. So as I mentioned, GDN is AQF level 8. Similarly, if you have GDN qualification, it is assessed as New Zealand qualification NZQF framework level 8 as well. So if you are if you're prospectively looking for New Zealand registration, if you're a diploma nurse, just do GDN and apply to New Zealand Nursing Council. You will get decision letter to do CAP, which is Competency Assessment Program. So we have a lot of nurses in New Zealand, who are currently doing GDN. We have nurses from UK, Singapore, GCC countries, and also various parts of India and Philippines currently doing GDN course with us. And also another benefit of having a GDN qualification from IHM is it will help you to get credit standing to a master's study. If you are a nurse who is very keen to advance your nursing career, studying a GDN will help you to aid your master's study with the most affordable course fee in Australia. So that is another, highlight benefit I can proudly mention. If you study with RHM, you can do a master's degree with the at most affordable fees. And also, if you're doing a 2-year program in Australia, you will also have an option to do a post study. And these are our university partners. So articulations and pathway for IHM are Charles Darwin University, Griffith University, University of Wollongong, Flinders, and UCAM. So these are our university partners if you would like to do a master's program. Okay. So I think pretty much we are coming we are coming to the end of this presentation. So just last but not the least, it's this PP slide will explain why you should study with IHM. Uh, as I mentioned, we've been training nurses for the last 13 years for registration. So that's the main reason we will have experienced and highly skilled faculty who can help you and guide you in your registration. And we have an excellent online learning platform which will help you to study from the convenience of your home, and also through the support of Carewin team. And also, if you are planning to come to Australia for your OSCE, we have you can visit our campuses and you can take OSCE or NTICS training at our state-of-the-art facilities and amenities. And also, if you're studying GDN program with us, you will have 24/7 student support. So at the convenience of your time, you can study and meet your requirements for registration. Okay, so I think we are pretty much completed our presentation.
Ask for what is the IELTS requirement. The IELTS requirement, what we discussed, this for the registration purposes, we should have IELTS 7 each band, and OETB and PTE 65.
Correct.
And this for the courses, as Cinda explained to you, there is if you're studying the IELTS or OET, whatever the English courses, so well and good. So we can look into that. And also, if you don't have any course IELTS or English course study at the moment, so IHM will provide you an essay topic, and you can write around 500 words academic essay and submit to IHM, and IHM will look into that as well. Our academic board will assess and let you know. This is the because this is, we are studying this Australian program. we should make sure you have certain level of English standards. That's why we are implementing all this. Just write an essay and submit to us. So we will look into it. We will give you the assessment.
As you mentioned, GDN course is for 1 year, right?
Yes.
So by completing the first 6 months,
Hmm.
you will be, I'll be getting GCN, right?
Correct.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, then with the GCN, can I enroll this program?
Yeah, you mean with the GCN you can apply for registration or
Yeah,
you want?
if I complete the first 6 months,
Hmm.
I'll be like certified as a GCN candidate, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so that gives me a seven score or something like that.
Gina, may I know your qualification? Are you do you have a bachelor's or a diploma
No, no, I
qualification?
don't have a bachelor's. I'm a diploma nurse.
Okay, Gino. So
Yeah.
if you have a diploma qualification, your qualification in Australia is assessed as AQ of level 6. Okay,
Okay.
which means that currently you're not meeting the requirement for registration.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
which you have to first upskill to 7 or above. So the
Okay.
advantage in GDN or GCN is that once you complete the course, you will be AQ of level 7. So you are not upskilling to one level, you are jumping over two levels. So you
Mm-hmm,
will
mm-hmm.
be above bachelor's. So that is the main advantage. And Gina, are you currently working?
Yeah, I'm currently working in Kuwait.
Okay,
Okay.
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 So
Cool.
we have a lot of candidates from Kuwait as well who is starting in November intake. Yeah,
Oh,
so if you are going to start with Kevin, definitely we can connect you with more people who are studying from your part of the world.
all right, all right. Thank you, thank you.
So with
Uh,
GCN, you will meet the registration requirement and then you can start the process. But still, you will need English of 7, when you apply for registration.
okay, there's one more thing. This GCN gives me seven score, right?
No,
No.
GCN is only upskilling your qualification
Just
because there are
upskilling.
pre-registration requirements, right? Standard. So
Okay,
one is your qualification, then the
okay,
second one is English requirement, then the third is recency of practice. So
okay.
from what I have understood from your background,
Hmm.
you're currently working, you're a registered nurse from India, or you're
Yeah,
currently working as a registered nurse. So the
yeah.
only hurdle you need to clear is your qualification, which is you
Okay.
need to upskill, and
Mhm.
at the end you need to have a PT
English.
65 or OETB or IELTS to apply
Okay,
for.
okay, okay. Okay, so this all 1 year I have to complete to get this GDN done, and then I can uh, get registration started, right?
Okay, do you know what I would recommend you? Yes, you can enroll for a GDN qualification because having a postgraduate diploma is always help you when you apply for a job here, because I believe you have good number of experience, and you are getting registration in order to apply for PR or with a long term perspective, right? So if
Yeah.
you have the advantage of having a graduate diploma of nursing, you have different pathways to apply for PR. One is a point based system, and the more experience you have, you will have more opportunities to get employer sponsorship. So when you apply for a job, if you have an Australian GDN qualification, you will
Mm.
get high priority than other nurses with just bachelor's level qualification. And also it will be more easy for you to get employer sponsorship as well. So your opportunities will be more. But once you complete GCN, you can start your registration process. You can start your self check.
Okay, okay. Now I understood. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, this pathway is for 1 year, for especially for GNM nurses. So what we are
Okay.
doing here at is that by the time you complete the first 6 months, okay, that
Okay.
is 4 units, you will be
Mm-hmm.
awarded graduate certificate.
Okay.
So during that first 6 months, parallelly we'll be helping you with the online IELTS. If you want IELTS we have a very good team. If you want the OET, we have a very good team to provide the OET program. So by the
Okay.
time you complete this first semester, you will be eligible with band score. Okay.
Okay.
Whether it is IELTS with 7 score, if it is OET, we can have a B, overall B. So that's how we are preparing the students. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
by the time you do the second semester, we'll get the OBA registration done for you, and we
Okay.
can start doing your N plus RN. It's a 3 months online program, so that you
Okay.
can start being in which we have a faculties facilitated here
Okay.
guide you and help you get through this N plus RN also. So by the
Okay.
time you complete the GDN program by 1 year, you will be
Okay.
through with your advanced program, basic qualification to apply for the OSCE exam. That is
Okay.
part
Okay. Okay.
B. So that you have to do is that you have to we will take a date in Australia. You have to go to we'll get a visiting visa for you in Australia. Once you reach in Australia, you have to clear the OSCE exam. Once you clear the OSCE exam, your registration part will take care of that. Okay.
Okay. Fine. Fine. Fine.
So all this process,
Okay.
even IHM and Carewin team will be there to guide you throughout your
Correct.
registration. You don't have to
Yes.
worry on that.
Okay, I would like to clarify one thing, Bijoy. So,
Okay.
okay, you don't have to meet your IELTS before NCLEX. So you can
Okay.
start once you, get your GCN or GDN. Once you qualify
Right.
GDN, you can,
Okay.
start your process. You can do NCLEX and OSCE, and at the end in step 4, when you finally submit your documents to APRA, at the time only you will have to produce your English requirement. Okay, so that is the first thing. And regarding the
Okay.
OSCE, as Mr. Rajneesh has mentioned, Kevin team can help you to apply visa for OSCE, right? So there are two options for you. So based on your circumstances, you can take any of this option. So the first option would be you can apply for a visiting visa. Okay, so
Okay.
usually when bridging students who wants to do this bridging program here, they used to apply for visiting visa, and they some students get 6 months, some students get 1 year visiting visa, but you
Okay.
need to exit at every 3 months if you are applying for a student visa. Okay, and
Okay.
let's say you have if you're opting for a if you're opting for a visiting visa and you're
Right.
coming here
Mm-hmm.
and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing OSCE, but still you will have 6 months or 1 year left, right? So if let's
Okay.
say if you get your registration, you pass your OSCE, you will apply to APRA, and
Okay.
you once you get your registration, you can do
Right.
your skill assessment in with ANMAC, because
Mm-hmm.
skill assessment is required for PR. Okay, so in order to
So,
apply for a point based system, you will be doing skill assessment. You
so
can
this
remain
is
in
all
a
about. Okay. So you were talking about the visiting visa. So after completing all these requirements, you are asking to come to Australia with the visiting visa. So is the visiting visa allow us to study or doing,
yeah. So that is what I was going to tell you. So the one option is visiting visa, right? So you will have these
Okay.
options. So the second thing is you can apply for a student visa. Okay, so this
Okay.
if you
Okay.
let's say you complete GDN, as I mentioned, GDN has a pathway to masters. So once you come,
Okay.
if you're a GDN holder, and if you think, okay, I want to come on a student visa, you can apply for our 1 year master's program. So you can study
Okay.
Charles Darwin University's 1 year masters in
Mm-hmm.
Perth campus, or Melbourne or Sydney. Okay, and
Okay.
meanwhile you're on student visa, you can do your OSCE. But the advantage
Mm-hmm.
of you being a student visa in Australia is you will have work rights. You will have work rights of 20 hours, and if you have a spouse, your spouse can work 40 hours.
So you are talking about the students visa. So any addition of this course, I need to take another students visa for to reach Australia for this OSCE.
No, that's what I said. You have two options. Either you can apply for a visiting visa to come here for OSCE, or
So
else
what's the
because
success rate of visiting visa for getting for an Indian, how much success rate will be there?
See, I will
Applying.
say, because we have done, in the last 1 year alone, because I've been working here for 3 years. So I have been enrolling students for bridging a program, which is EPIQRN. So in my experience, around 98 or 99% of our students have got, visiting visa grant to do
So early it
EPIQRN.
was, those who are moving to Australia for OSCE
Hmm.
or a bridging program, they are in the students visa, mode.
No, they used to
So,
be 95% of students, they used to apply for visiting visa, and very few students they apply for student visa because they take EPIQRN plus GCN. So the advantage of coming in student visa is they will have work rights. Whereas if
why
they
I'm asking is some of my friends are in Australia. They are saying the visiting visa will not allow you to study or do any course there.
okay,
No,
so
That's
this
that's
one.
the first reason. The other thing is what they are saying is after completing this OSCE, and I will get the job there. I mean, you will assist to get a job, or will directly move
Okay,
for the PR
okay,
or something kind of that. So after
okay.
visiting visa, it may be 6 months or whatever the time period. So after that, we need to get a job there to stay back there.
hmm,
Okay,
Otherwise, we come back to India. Or how it will work?
okay.
Okay, Vijay, I will explain to you. This is a scenario. Okay, there is
Okay,
no
okay.
issue to come and do the course. It's a visiting visa, 3 months visiting visa, because
Yeah, yeah.
this program is leading for, you are coming to for the registration. This is a non-hour
Right,
program, but still
right.
there's a you are getting the
Mhm,
registration, nursing registration in Australia. So there
mhm,
is no
mhm,
issue at all. We trained in our past, IHNA, we conducted the bridging program. It's around more than 15,000 nurses
mhm,
came from India or all over the world, and they got the
mhm,
registration in Australia. They got the visa and they
mhm.
trained here. And after that, it's the last 1 year, as Cinda said, it's around 1,500 students came through to the EPI QRN program. Okay. That's the
Okay.
same scenario. That's a 3 months visa. They are applying 3 months visa. Normally, if the student want to extend another 3 months for this visiting visa, so sometimes the embassy, the immigration will allow that as well. So there is no issue at all. As soon as this as long as you get the registration, some people, this in the past, some people they will look for this sponsorship, employee sponsorship in regional area or metro, whatever the cases may be. Because since last one last year, before I think 2018, they stopped 457 visa. That's a 4 year sponsorship. They already stopped,
Right,
and they
right.
implemented new visas and services.
For
Now what
India.
they are doing, yeah, and for it too. And this and now what they are doing, that students who all are getting the registration, they are going to the
Mhm.
regional area and get the sponsorship from the employers. So
Okay,
some
okay.
of them that most of them are getting. Some of them what they will do. Some of them after 3 months of business visa, visiting visa, they will go back to India or where they are, their home country. They
Okay,
can go back as soon as they leave the country in Australia. They can apply for PR in Australia.
okay, okay.
Okay,
And
so
also,
So
yeah,
in
so
for the PR, so uh, we need to meet some points or something kind of that. So
yeah,
out of
that's
this
it.
program, so online course or GDN program, so any point will get out of this program.
yes,
If
definitely. If you have a, if you, okay, so if you study in Australia and also if you study in a regional area, especially you're doing a master's, you will have a benefit of additional 5 points. And also you have this postgraduate diploma is a postgraduate level qualification, right? So for that, you will have an additional benefit of 5. So I would like to add one more to what you said, Bijo. Your friends, what they told is correct. So if you're coming on a visiting visa, you will only have study rights for 3 months. So that is the main reason all our EPIQRN students coming on student visa could study, because when you get a student visa you can study up to 3 months. But in my experience of enrolling students, 99% of students, even if they apply for a 3 months visa, they will get from 6 to 1 year. So they will not get just very, I think in my entire career I have seen only 1 or 2 applications with 3 months of visa. So if you apply for a visa, you will be like, you will likely to get 6 to 1 year of visa. And as you said, yes, you apply for registration, but you will not have work rights. You asked me, right, whether you can get work. Yes, on visiting visa, you will be as Mr. Verghese said, you will be able to apply for job. So many of our students, they what they do is, half of them, they will continue on visiting visa and they will apply for jobs for job sponsorship, employer sponsorship 482 or 494, or else some apply for their point based PR. For their point based PR, they have to, once they get their registration, they have to do their skill assessment through ANMAC. So for nursing qualification, ANMAC is the skill assessment body. You do your skill assessment and then you can apply for PR, for regional PR, or if you want to apply for state list or federal list, you can apply. So there are a lot of options are there. So based on your, what is suitable for you, you can take that pathway. Whereas let's say if you're not on visiting visa, if you're coming on a student visa, okay, student visa will allow you 20 hours of work. So let's say you pass your OSCE, you get your registration, IHM can help you through HCA to get a job. If you if you have 20 hours of work rights, yes, we can support you to get a job through various organizations. So there, but it depends on your visa rights, your work rights, your study rights. So depends on what pathway. We can advise you different pathway, option 1, option 2, option 3, but depending on your background, your circumstances, you can choose the pathway. But eventually it all will lead you to your registration and permanent residency. That is for sure. There is no
So
question for
for
nurses.
the permanent residency, after doing this course, what eligibility I will get for this PR? I mean, points or something kind of that.
So your first eligibility is your registration. If you are going to apply for your PR as a nurse,
Okay.
the first
Okay.
thing they will look is whether you have Australian registration. Then the
Right.
second thing, if you are applying on a point based PR, then they will look whether you have done your skill assessment. Skill
Right.
assessment is when you are applying for your independent PR. So let's
Okay.
say the other option is, as I mentioned, you can apply for jobs, and if any employer is willing to sponsor you, then you can apply for sponsorship visa that will lead you to PR as well. So the
Okay.
options, you have various options.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also
So,
regarding the job supporting from
Mhm.
IHM. So we are supporting each student to get to find the jobs in Australia, and we will assist them. We will guide them. Okay. So sometimes
Right.
the employers will come to our campuses and doing the interview. This in information
Okay.
seminar, and this they will do the interview. This that's up to them. But
Mhm.
IHM can't
Okay.
offer the job guarantee. We can't say
Okay.
that it is a job guarantee,
So that's
but we
that
are
is my
going the,
point.
yeah, we are giving the job assistance.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's fine. And the other question from me is, suppose if I'm doing the online course and there are some students doing in campus. So what's the
Yeah.
authenticity if compared with the online and in campus? Is it
In Aus-
same?
in Australia,
If we
in Australia,
Mm,
any qualification you are studying on campus or online, there is no difference. Everything is
okay.
same equivalency. Okay.
Yeah,
So
So
as
they
far as
want
your
if we
in the
forward my file for the PR, so
yep.
they will definitely give same point for the those who are studying,
Yeah. That's the same. That's the
campus,
same. That's the
and
same. The
so
same.
there
they,
is no requirement of the experience or work experience to lead to the PR, anything kind of that. If suppose I got a job and I worked for 1 year or 2 years, so if I apply for PR, maybe I get easily. So
Bijoy,
suppose
Bijoy, how
yeah.
many years of experience you have?
So I have more than 10 years experience in India, so I never
Okay.
traveled to any foreign country.
Okay.
So
Doesn't
my
matter.
question is, if
Yeah.
suppose I'm traveling to Australia for a visiting visa, and somebody from immigration asking me that what's the purpose you are traveling to Australia, then I can
You
I'm
can ask.
asking that what will I say? I'm going to study or doing my OSCE or something kind of that. I
No,
can.
you can say that I am trying to get the national Australian nursing registration. So that's
Okay.
the study we are
Okay.
doing. That's
So
no
you
problem.
mean
There is no
it's
hidden.
legally
Yeah. It's a legally allowed.
You
Legally
you will
allowed to
not
come
have
and
any
do this.
implications for
No,
that.
okay.
that's
So
legally
yeah,
allowed.
that's fine. The other
Yep.
thing is, once I get the job, or if in other way, if you think, if I'm not getting any job, you said that another other scenario also. So I
Yep.
come back to India after my visiting visa.
Registration. Yeah.
So
Uh,
then the chance to go back to Australia only if I get the PR. Otherwise, I
Correct.
can't move to Australia again.
Correct. But Bijoy, I will tell you that, like, don't think that you will not find a job in Australia. So
No,
if you
I'm actually I'm a optimistic. No, don't think that I'm a pessimistic. So,
see,
so you know, if we spend this much money, and
Yeah.
we
So
need
we
to
understand.
think all the way, the
yeah,
Yeah, we
if
possibilities,
you
understand.
are
and
a nurse, if you are a registered nurse in Australia, then
You don't
you
have.
will find a way. There is no question for that.
so
The only
when
thing
we
is that
move
you
to
need.
Australia with a visiting visa, I will lose my job here.
I understand,
So when
but you
after,
need to
yeah,
keep in mind one thing, that visiting visa doesn't have work rights. So that is the
okay,
only thing I want you to keep in mind. Whereas, as you
okay,
said that, like, you asked, okay, if I don't have work experience, will I get a job? So that is why I said, if you're coming on a student visa, you will have 20 hours work rights. So even if you work 1 year with 20 hours part time, that is considered
okay,
as 1 year experience in Australia when you apply for PR. So there are different options. You
okay,
can opt, whichever option you think is right and good for you. The options
okay.
are plenty,
So
actually.
for the students visa, I need to take another course, right?
Yeah, if you
No,
want to apply for a student visa.
Okay, so that would be like after the GDN, so
you can
I
go
should
for
take
masters.
the higher course,
You
something
can go
kind
Yes.
of
for
that.
masters. You can go for
Yes.
masters.
See,
Okay,
if
so
you have a GDN qualification, the next option for you to apply for student visa is only the masters. And if if with CDU, you will get Charles Darwin University, you will get up to 1 year credit standing, and the course fee is only
what would be the
24.
fees for the master's course?
Yeah,
I
it is
mean,
twenty four
next
thousand
money.
five hundred is 1 year course fee. And if you check a master's course fee in any of the universities, you will see the per semester fee is above 15,000. So usually, master's qualification, in order to complete a master's qualification, you have to spend around 50, more than 50, 50 to 70,000. That is the price range for a master's. Whereas if you're studying GDN plus masters, let's assume you do 12,000 Australian dollars and then 25, you will get a masters inside 40,000. So that will be the most affordable option any student can get in Australia to get a master of nursing.
And also you can work as a registered nurse after getting the registration in Australia.
Correct. Correct.
But
Yes.
at 20 hours you can work.
Correct.
Okay, you were saying after if I become a registered nurse, and I don't get any job there, if I avail this option, I mean,
Yeah.
See,
student
if you're on
visa,
a
then I can work as a part time.
yes.
Yes.
See, even if you don't have a registration, let's assume, if you're processing for your registration and if you are on a
Okay,
student visa, you will find some work, like, in aged care as support worker or AIN. There are plenty of options for a registered nurse. There are a lot of other options, but the only thing is you need to have work rights.
okay,
So as we discussed in this, total course fee is for GDN Graduate Diploma Nursing is at $12,000, and that we can offer you it's a payment plan to everyone, so because we understand these are situations and everything in at the moment in everywhere in the world. So we are offering 2,500 you have to pay as an to get the enrollments, and balance amount you have to pay as payment plan, and we will provide to you the payment plan equal installments every month. So we will finish it off at the end of the course.
Yeah.
So we can.
Sorry, I would like to add that, as you mentioned, the initial deposit is 2,500 and the payment plan installment is 2,375
Yeah,
over 4 times, four
4 times.
payments. Yeah.
Ma'am, this is the
2,500 Australian dollars. Okay, so
Yeah,
don't get confused. It's
yeah, it's
equivalent
not.
to 1,25,000 in Indian rupees.
Yeah, it's a not US dollars. It's in Australian dollars.
how much it will be in Indian
Okay,
rupees?
and addition to that, work is that 10% scholarship also you can announce.
Yeah. So just what we are aiming to have, because we are partnered with, we are very much interested to promote our programs through Carewin, and we are offering as an introductory offer. So we can offer you 10% as a scholarship to all the students who are joining with us. So it will be $1,200 as a scholarship. Okay, so as we go to complete all this submission process, so we can explain to you how it will work, and just we can offer that as well. Right. So I think yeah, all done. I think so. Now's the time to wind up. And thank you for your time, and thank you, Mr. Rajanish and the Carewin team, to schedule this session, and much appreciated. And Carewin team is working tirelessly to get all these, students to contact and make sure they are attending the program, the webinar. And thank you very much, Cinda. So, yeah, your information and presentation is very, interesting. And that was all. I think everything is clear now. And thank you for your contribution to conduct the webinar. And especially all the participants, thank you very much for your time and effort to join. Without you, is nothing is possible. So we are here to support you to get it done. And as I told you in the first place, we are there. Whatever the information or support or help you want, just we are more than happy to do that. So thank you for your time and effort. If you have any questions, or if you have any information you want more, you can just send an email, or just ring Carewin, and they are ready to answer your questions. And hopefully everything will be fine. And have a good night, and take care. And we will see you soon in Carewin Center in India.